Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 33, Talkoffamepod podcast. I'm Kylie. Today we have on a wonderful actor, singer, and dancer, and model, Brandon Halvorsen. Thanks so much. Come on, Brandon. I'm so happy to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Of course, I'm so happy to have you on. So, over the last 2 years, we did an isolation. So, what is something that you did over the last 2 years that you wouldn't have time to do before?
Well, so when the pandemic first broke out, I was still in college. I was actually in my last semester of college, and then in March, that's when kind of everything just hit the fan, and I was sent home from school. And so I had to spend the first few months of the pandemic in isolation, finishing up my classes online, and getting to spend time with family was really nice as well, because I had to move back home for a bit. And then yeah, after I graduated online and stuff like that, and I was essentially done with school, even though it didn't really feel like it because of COVID and stuff. I was supposed to move to New York. That was kind of where my head was at. And I was wanting to yeah, move to New York to pursue musical theater and get representation. That was my ultimate goal in going to school, was networking and getting that representation so that I could have a team of people looking out for auditions for me. And I still managed to get representation, even though the pandemic kind of prevented my class from having a proper showcase in New York City. So that's pretty cool. So rather than moving to New York, I stayed at home, stayed here in LA. And yeah, and I kind of just took the time of being in isolation to really just find kind of who I am as a person, so that it's like it's kind of deep, but like I really think I found myself as a person, because I think a lot of us actors um can kind of get caught in just having acting and being an actor define who we are as humans.
Mm.
Whereas I think it's important for us to understand who we are as people first, and that's gonna help us kind of be actors in a sense. So I really spent the time just discovering who I am. I started getting really into spirituality and journaling and meditating, and kind of healing a lot too. I was healing from a lot of things that I feel like were holding me back. Um, just a lot of like past um, stuff. And I feel like that has really helped me now in my career of just being okay with who I am and healing and yeah, all of that stuff. And I started taking a lot of acting classes too remotely, as well as dance classes remotely. Just kind of making space in my house wherever I can, in my garage, in the living room, and just taking classes too, staying active during the pandemic. I feel like I wouldn't have had time to do that before, while I was in school, because I was already taking the classes there. And so I was able to, branch out and take classes from pretty much anyone all over the world, because everyone was trying to stay positive and offer, classes online. And so I really took advantage of all of that.
Oh, I love it. Like this, like last kind of 2 years prior to the pandemic has really changed mentally and kind of professionally, especially, and it took a toll on people's mental health, especially mine. I like after a couple months of quarantining, I dealt with depression from staying home and couldn't live life as I used to, and I started like and plus like with depression, I was kind of living on my past actions and like how hate and stuff, how it's on getting a toll on me and made me into depression. But mentally, like if I like mentally, like I meditate. Like
Yeah.
my sister and my mom got me into meditating, which I always kind of never want to do. I always said no. But then like during the pandemic, my parents, my sister, mom, my mom's like, Kylie, you have to do this. You have to. Like
Yeah.
just have to help you, and you better do it before it's too late to do it. So I just started doing it, and it helped me so much. And the meditation is something I would have done if the pandemic never even started. And
Yeah, and
so
it's so
it,
helpful.
yeah, meditation is so helpful, especially like people in younger generations are especially need for this during the pandemic. But as we're kind of talking about acting, all those things, like since you have so much time kind of staying at home, not really doing anything when in the house and everything, did you like binge watch any movies or shows during quarantine?
Yeah, so I'm typically like, I don't know, being an actor, it's you would think that I would be all over like watching stuff and keeping up with TV and film and movies and all that stuff, but I'm actually not, and I don't really know why. I think I have I struggle, well, I guess I don't struggle with it. I kind of live with it, and I have ADD, and so
Mhm.
it's hard for me to concentrate for long periods of time, and I guess movies and TV shows kind of fall under that umbrella of having to pay attention to something for a long time. So I tend to not really watch much. However, during quarantine, I really had nothing else to do. And one of the acting classes I was taking, he would assign us movies and TV shows to watch. And so that's kind of how I really got into watching and binge watching a lot of stuff throughout quarantine. And I binge watched this like Norwegian series, like apocalyptic kind of series called The Rain, and it was really good, really good TV series. And I watched Euphoria, and I watched a lot of stuff that I feel like as an actor, I feel like I would be right for, like in terms of auditioning for. And so I would be kind of studying shows like that to kind of get an like a good gist of like how the acting style is for that specific movie or that specific TV show that I feel like I would be right for. So yeah, I watched a lot of like High School Musical, the musical, the series, because
Mhm.
I feel like I could use, my musical theater background in a show like that. And yeah, I watched a Spanish TV series called Elite. That was pretty good too. Um, yeah, watched a lot of stuff, but those are the ones that are coming to mind right now.
Oh, perfect. Like as I kind of mentioned by ADHD, like I can't like for me, like I can't sit for like long periods of time without getting up and like pausing it and just getting up and just I'm always have to move around because I get very bored easily or just like okay,
Yeah.
I need to get up and do something before I
You
lose my mind.
understand.
Because I always have to do something because like my brain is like you have to do something instead of laying down watching television. You shouldn't do that. And
Yeah.
so, like, I just get very bored easy. By the way, is Euphoria good? Because
What's that?
is Euphoria good? Because I've been thinking about watching, but I didn't know if it was good. The Euphoria series or whatever.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's a little dark. It's a little yeah, it's a little dark. It deals with a lot of kind of angsty, dark issues like Zendaya, who plays the lead. She struggles with addiction. And so there's a lot of dark themes there. Um, but yeah, I enjoy it just simply because it's very like it's kind of a young show, angsty. They're in high school dealing with, all of that sort of drama. And I don't know, being, kind of in that similar physical like age group, I feel like I that's a show I could potentially be on. So um I enjoy it purely for that reason because I can see myself being in a show like that. So, but
Yeah,
I enjoy it. Yeah, I
absolutely.
recommend it.
Yeah, I did check it out. I wasn't sure if it was good or not. I was gonna check it out, but I didn't know like what like if I should watch it. I didn't know if it was any good. But with Zendaya,
Yeah.
any
I-
role Zendaya is in is amazing.
She's amazing. I'm obsessed with her, and I just saw her in the Spider-Man movie. And I think the second season of Euphoria just came out, I think last night, or it's coming out today. I can't
Oh,
remember.
really? I knew
It's
it was coming out sometime, but I didn't know when.
yeah.
Oh, I have to check it out now. Oh, gosh, you got me all hooked. But as I kind of mentioned before, you are an actor, singer, and dancer. What made you kind of want to start doing that?
I just I always just kind of knew it was my calling. Like ever since I can remember, I always remember kind of performing in some capacity, whether it was like, in front of the fireplace at like a family gathering and like at like a Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, getting all of my family members to be like, hey, 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 like everyone watch me. And I would just like make up little songs and dances and do little like impersonations and mimic people. And I was just always sort of that kid. And then as I got older and like got into elementary school, middle school, I was always one of the kids who would spend their recess like putting shows on with other people in my class and stuff like that. And like sure, like I would, play sports and play soccer during recess too and stuff like that, but I definitely preferred like singing and doing little shows during recess. And that was kind of when like High School Musical came out,
Mhm.
the movie, and my friends and I, we would just like sing through the entire soundtrack during our recess and spend every day doing that. And then one of my good friends at the time, there was like a youth like theater company, conservatory, if you will, that my friend was a part of, and she would do, musicals there and take classes there. And I had no idea such a thing existed at the time. I was like still in sports, playing sports, just kind of like going that route as I feel like a young kid does when they don't really know what they want to do quite yet. And my friend was like, "Hey, like I think you would really enjoy, this. You should come audition for the next show that's coming up at this little youth conservatory." And so it was like I didn't even yeah, like I didn't even know something like that existed, and I ended up auditioning and I listened to her and I ended up getting cast. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea like how to choose a song for an audition. I didn't know how to audition. Audition like technique. Like I didn't know where to look when I was singing. I didn't know how to introduce myself. So many things. I didn't know how to like pick up choreography. I would say I was like a naturally gifted like mover, like I was able to move my body well. I understood my body, but in terms of like, terminology and stuff like that, that I had to, take lots of class for. But yeah, after I did that one show, it was You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown was the musical. And after I did that, I just kept doing it ever since. And I worked my butt off and I was in class every single day. I quit sports like completely after that. I fell in love with it. And then yeah, I was taking like 4 hours of dance, singing, acting classes every day after school for like the rest of my time, like up until going to college. And so the like theater bug kind of bit me and I fell in love with it.
Oh, that's amazing. Like that's kind of like how I was. Like I always wanted to kind of be in the industry, but I never knew kind of what I exactly wanted to do. Like I had nothing like when I try stuff, it never hit me. Like I'm just like I don't think I'd be good at this. I don't think it's my thing. I tried those stuff out, like acting, like sports and stuff, and like it would never hit me. And during
Yeah.
the pandemic, and I was like, um, maybe I should start a podcast. Like I don't know, like maybe I start something like that because two journalists, and my cousins are journalists at my local news station, and that my family was like they kept saying for like every single time at like family events or something, family gatherings, that I would be a gay journalist since I would know everything about sports and in the industry. I knew everything about it. If someone says something about someone, I know about it. And so
Yeah.
like I was like, I never took it seriously. I was like, whatever, like Chester sins, maybe they'll pop up in mind. I never kind of took it seriously at first because like I was like, I don't think this is for me. And plus, I was a very kind of shy girl,
Mm.
and so I was like, how is a shy girl like me supposed to do a podcast? Like, how is that even possible? And so in around April 2021, I was like, this might be a good idea. It kind of hit me around there, and then I was like, Mom and Dad, can I start doing this? Because I want, like, before I do anything, I want to get my parents to accept before I do anything. And so, and they're like, Kylie, go for it. Like, do whatever you want. If you don't like it, don't do it ever again. Whatever you want. Because I'm a person that like, oh, like if I don't like something, I'll leave instantly. I
Yeah.
leave things really early on, never go back to it. And so, like, in a couple of weeks later, I ended up starting this podcast, and in almost a year later, I'm still doing this. So
That's
it's something
amazing.
I fell in love with very kind of quickly, and like all the positive messages I'm getting, how much impacted the podcast impacted them and everything, the guests, everything. I am just very thankful for, and I'm just thankful for everyone that
Oh,
like
that's so
came on
awesome to
everything.
hear. That's really, really cool.
Thank you. So
Congrats on
you
that.
played in the theater production of Newsies, is that right?
Yeah, I've actually done it. I've done uh Newsies 3 times now, different productions of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was that kind of experience like for you doing it multiple times over the last couple
Yeah,
of
so the
years?
first time I ever did it was after my freshman year of college back in 2017, summer of 2017. And it was at a professional theater up in Central California called, um, it was through the Pacific Conservatory for the Performing Arts. And we performed at this outdoor venue in a town called Solvang, which is a very like, you almost feel like you're in a movie set. It's a Danish town, and like there's like windmills everywhere, and it's so beautiful. A very interesting town, random town in California, but they have this beautiful like outdoor amphitheater type venue, and it was just such a cool experience because that was like my first professional show like while I was in college. Like I had done professional work, professional theater as a kid, um whenever they needed like they needed like a young boy in a show, in like a professional production, I would play that young boy, um stuff like that. But to be in like the actual like cast, or like the actual like because like as those like little boy characters that I played when I was younger, I would literally just be in like maybe one scene and play like um no lines, just like walk on with as like a family in the ensemble. And then after that, I was like never on stage for the rest of the show. And that was in like A Christmas Carol, or like Singing in the Rain. There's like a moment in Singing in the Rain where it goes back in time, and the lead Don Lockwood, his like younger self kind of reappears and shows how he was like tap dancing in the bars back in the day. And then after that, I was like not in the show after that. So anyway, this was my first time being in like truly being in a professional show. Um, except sorry, I take that back. In high school, I did another professional show. But anyway, first professional show in college, and I did it with one of my best friends and my roommate at the time, and got to spend the entire summer with him. And it was like a 12-week contract. So we performed for like 2 months straight, I want to say, and just in this beautiful outdoor theater. And a majority of Newsies, the plot is pretty much all outside. They're just out in the streets singing and dancing and fighting and striking and all of that fun stuff, and it's all out, it takes place all outside. So to perform actually outside under the night sky, it felt so like real. Like it felt like I was really living in that world of the show. And the 3 times I've done it, we've used different sets, and obviously I was with a different group of people. So and I played a different newsie each time I did the show. So I had very different experiences each of the 3 times I did it, but it was just such a blast getting to do it 3 times, and I hope I get to do it even more times than that. My goal is to have played every single newsie. So I've got three down, and I think there's like maybe 4 or 5 more. So we'll see if that goal happens or not.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will sometime next couple of years, hopefully. But do you have anyone that you look up to in the industry as like an actor or singer or dancer, or is like, or kind of in general?
Yeah. I definitely look up to Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, because I just think his skills as an actor, but also as a singer and dancer, are just phenomenal. Like, he's currently on Broadway right now. He's done so much TV film. I mean, with the Wolverine series, and utilizing his musical skills on film in like Greatest Showman and things like that. I just think that's really cool that he's able to kind of toggle between the two mediums of being on stage and being in on screen. That's kind of my ultimate goal, is to be able to do both and kind of jump back and forth between the two mediums. And then just recently, I wasn't, until seeing the Spider-Man movie and really starting to follow Tom Holland's career. He started off as a kid. He started off in Billy Elliot, the musical, as a dancer, gymnast, singer, obviously, and that's how he kind of started, similar to me. And now he's like one of the hottest Hollywood actors right now, being our generation's Spider-Man. Like,
Mhm.
that's insane. Um, and so I kind of look up to him as my model, my kind of, that's kind of the journey that I would love to have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. As you kind of mentioned Hugh Jackman, I couldn't help but getting kind of like fangirl over a little bit. Hugh
Uh-huh.
Jackman is my idol,
Oh,
actually, my
really?
idol too. And so I've been a fan of him since like 2019, like mid 2019. I got to see him in concert and see him be the Music Man soon, hopefully. Like
Yeah.
depending on the COVID, and go see him sometime. He's like one of the reasons why I started this. He's like my biggest inspiration. He's the reason
Wow.
why I started to dance is because of him. He
Wow.
wants to dance, and like basically like him, like I basically want to go where he's at. Like I want to be big as him. Like he's like with him being so kind and everything, I want to be kind and sweet as him. Like he's impacted me in many ways and I can't explain it, especially. And he's the reason why I basically am still here and everything got
Wow.
through, like the depression and stuff, is because of him. And so like he's just amazing. I couldn't thank them that much. Like there's so many ways I can thank him, but
Wow. That's
it's like it's
awesome.
amazing. He's just awesome with the Greatest Showman, X Man. Oh my gosh, his new movie Reminiscence that came out like when did it come out? August, I think. Reminiscence, I believe. Yeah, Reminiscence.
Yeah, Reminiscence. I actually haven't seen that one, but
Really?
yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah, it's really good. I think you should watch it. It's really good.
Okay. Reminiscence. Cool.
Yeah, it's really good. It's on HBO Max.
Oh, great.
Like I don't know if like
That
it
I
used to
have.
be in theaters, but I don't know if it's still in theaters now. But I don't think it is. I don't
Mm,
believe.
I haven't seen yeah, because I was just at the movies the other day and I didn't see it up there. So
Yeah, it's probably just not out there anymore. Probably just HBO Max. But what is some advice for like younger generations that like to be in the industry one day?
I would say take class, put the work in, because I feel like not all aspiring people, but many kind of just expect things to sometimes fall on their lap, and sometimes they do, and that's awesome. But I just think that's kind of more of a rare chance of fate. Um, but I believe in, if you put the work in, that the outcome that you want will be yours. And I'm also a firm believer in not getting complacent and really just always striving to do better, um, getting in as much class as you can, because the training and all of that, it will pay off. Um, Someone will notice you. You will, and the more you're in class, the more you're networking with people, the more you're meeting other like-minded individuals. And that's a great way to either start collaborating with other artists, or like I said, networking with industry professionals. I think the more you're in class, just the better chances you have at being a successful actor. And kind of going back to what I mentioned before and what I was doing during quarantine, I would also encourage younger generations looking to be in the entertainment industry to um, kind of really start to figure out who you are and who you want to be as a person, and love that person, um, and do all of that work before figuring out what defines you as an actor. That's something I definitely wish I could have heard when I was first starting the business.
Oh, absolutely. Like, because like the industry is such like a hard kind of place to be in. There's
Yes.
like media and hating and your sexuality and everything.
Yeah.
And so like when I was a kid, I never found like I never had someone, I never found people like me battling anxiety, depression, and found people like me. So it's very difficult to find who I want to be when I'm older and like who's like me as a person. So that
Yeah.
was very difficult. And I kind of wish I had that as a kid. And that's really one reason why I'm doing this, to help people. And so like, I always kind of wish, like you said, like we had kind of more opportunities to have people like us as a kid.
Yeah.
So like the final question for the interview is, you played Edward in Town Ghost Story. What was that process like for you to get that role?
Oh my gosh. So that was my wow, just looking back, like that was a year ago, when we filmed that. That was my first like TV film project that I truly ever did professionally, like in Hollywood. I had done like little student films here and there at my college, to kind of get that experience. I was taking on-camera acting classes at school, and then also during COVID, that was one of the classes I was taking through Zoom. Um, and I am a member or a subscriber to all of the acting services, websites like Backstage and Actors Access and Casting Networks and all of those websites. And I got an email. I always get like daily emails like, here's some projects going on right now that you can audition for. And I typically never open them, never read them, because I just get bombarded with like hundreds of them a day. It's just too much. And I just rely on my agents now to send me out on auditions and be my eyes, be my the people looking out for me for work. But for some reason, I saw this one email. It was at the top of my inbox at the time. And I think I had accidentally clicked it open. And I saw that this horror movie was casting. And I can't remember exactly um, what other information was on there, but I clicked on it and I, was kind of interested. And I thought to myself, like I really have nothing to lose. I love horror movies. And they were looking for the horror element of the movie. Um, and I was like, I feel like I can be kind of creepy, and I also love a good challenge because with my musical theater upbringing, you wouldn't really, I don't know. I feel like it's very 180 for someone like that to play like this zombie-esque kind of character, this really creepy, blood coming out of the mouth sort of character. And I just wanted to have fun with it. And I, followed the filming instructions, and I took the liberty to kind of, add a little bit of like horror makeup, special effects makeup, if you will. I got like a little bit of like stage blood or fake blood and kind of put it around my mouth. And they wanted me to crawl on the ground as I do in the movie. And I just went for it. And then I heard back maybe like a couple days later that I got the role. And it was just, I was so excited. I almost like didn't know what to do, because like my agent didn't really send me this audition. Like I kind of just did it on my own. And the fact that I booked the job was just like, I don't know, it's just kind of meant to be. And I think that me accidentally clicking on that email, like if I didn't accidentally click on that email, like none of this would have happened. So it's just kind of crazy how like the universe kind of works like that. And then being on set, getting to work with someone as famous as Margaret Cho um, was just like an experience that I'll never forget. I got to chat with her a bit about, being an Asian woman in the industry, how that's kind of helped pave her career so far, how it's changed over time. And yeah, it was just such a blast. I mean, I really got to experience what it was like to be on set for the first time. Um, and the makeup that I had to wear, the prosthetics and everything took like 5 hours to put on. And yeah, it was just such a great experience. And I honestly wasn't aware of how big it was going to get, how much traction it was going to get. And I can say now that the rights have been bought by Paramount Players to be turned into a full-length movie, which is super exciting. Um, and we've just won over like 100 awards from all over the world, and it's just been such a huge success. And genuinely never thought it was gonna be as big as it is. um, so it's just been such a blast to be a part of, and I'm very, very grateful to have had that experience during COVID. um, yeah, I mean, it was just very grateful for that experience.
Absolutely. Like, did you like once you first like auditioned and submitted and for the role, like did you expect to get the role, or you're just like, all right, I'll just send it, I don't care if I get the role, like
Yeah,
here is
it
my
was one
thing.
of those things where like I wasn't, dying to get this role. And I think that's like the secret. Like after I sent it in, I kind of honestly just like forgot about it. And I think that's what we as actors just have to do, in order to keep us from like pulling our hair out all the time and wondering, did I get it? Am I getting a call back? And I just completely like forgot about it. Because I think I didn't put that pressure on myself. I didn't put really any pressure on myself. And it was honestly just for fun. Like I just auditioned just to see what would happen, I guess, and just as kind of an acting challenge, honestly, like just kind of embodying this creepy, contorting, like entity crawling on the floor. I just kind of wanted to try something different, and then I ended up killing it and getting it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I just like sometimes when I kind of sometimes I push things really hard for like guests, like Hugh Jackman, Gina Davis, and all those like kind of A-listers. And
Uh-huh.
so sometimes I just like think like, okay, I'm just gonna send an email. I don't care. I used to send emails like every week to try to get them on. Like
Uh-huh.
people I really went on. So I just didn't care. So I was like, I don't care how long this takes. like I'll keep sending emails, sending messages, and do whatever I can. And
Yeah.
so I kept getting those, which I was pretty bummed about, especially the Hugh Jackman thing. I was like, okay, this is nonsense. I can't. This is pretty much nonsense. But like I kept not kind of basically blew it off. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm probably not this not gonna happen. Like if I ever meet them in person next couple of years, I will say, hey, come on, please. Like that's probably my
Yeah.
best shot. Now so that you get no, I might as well like, okay, you have to ask them in person, most likely.
It's good that you reached out and tried, though. That's the most important because you never know. You never
Yeah,
know what can
absolutely.
happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on. I had such a blast talking to you. It was
Thank you.
so fun to talk to you, and I can't wait to see all that you do. And let's speak soon for sure.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. Thank
Of
you.
course, of course. Thank you so much.